Hey everyone, it's Sunday, October 26th, and I've got 3 immigration stories to share that touch schools, food on our tables, and what happens when protests meet law enforcement. Grab a coffee, take a breath, let's make sense of this together. First, Texas. Back in June, the state repealed the Texas DREAM Act, which had allowed undocumented students to pay in-state tuition and access state financial aid. Losing that means a lot of students are now facing out-of-state rates that can double or even triple what they expected. For many families, that turns a reachable tuition bill into something they simply can't cover. What made this even more stressful is how fast some campuses moved. Students reported being asked for sensitive immigration documents with only about 48 hours to respond. Imagine trying to track down paperwork, talk to your family, and keep up with classes in that window. On top of that, lawsuits and policy changes are in motion, so students have been stuck in this space where the rules can shift while they're trying to plan their semester. Here's what this means for real people. Some undocumented students are pausing enrollment, switching to fewer classes, or looking at community colleges and programs with institutional aid that's still available. International students are feeling the climate too, worried about whether Texas is a stable place to study. If you're in this situation, keep close contact with your financial aid office. Ask directly about any school-funded scholarships, emergency grants, or payment plans, and watch for court updates that could change the landscape again. This isn't just about individual students. It affects neighborhood schools, campus diversity, and the future workforce Texas will rely on. Over in California farm country, the summer brought heavy immigration raids focused in Santa Barbara and Ventura counties. In June and July, hundreds of workers were arrested, and one person died trying to escape. The fear rippled fast. Some fields saw as much as 70% of workers stay home. When that many people are missing from the rows, you can guess what happens next. Harvests slow, crops risk spoiling, and farms lose money they can't easily make back. These are the folks who pick strawberries, lettuce, berries, the produce we all buy without a second thought. When workers don't show up because they're scared of being detained, the whole supply chain gets shaky. Farms scramble to adjust schedules, bring in new crews, or pay overtime, and that can show up later in prices or product availability. It's a reminder that immigration enforcement isn't just a headline. It reaches into paychecks, grocery aisles, and local economies. And then there's Maine. Earlier this month, near an ICE facility in South Portland, protesters clashed with federal officers. 2 men, Thomas Allen, 36, and Cortez Williams, 34, were arrested and charged with disorderly conduct in the second degree. Police said the charges stemmed from blocking the street, loud outbursts, and threatening behavior. Officers also said Allen had a spray can and a collapsible baton. Local police stressed they're not enforcing immigration law but will step in when they see crimes. Federal arrests followed, showing this wasn't just one agency acting alone. This was a broader response. So how do these stories connect? They're all about how policy and enforcement shape everyday life. In Texas, a rule change turns tuition into a wall for thousands of students. In California, raids leave fields shorthanded and harvests at risk. In Maine, protest and enforcement collide, with questions about free speech, public safety, and where the line gets drawn. If you're a student in Texas weighing your next move, keep your paperwork organized, check deadlines often, and ask for written guidance from your school so you have clarity if policies shift again. If you're in California agriculture, plan for workforce volatility. Cross-training crews and building relationships with trusted recruiters can soften the shock when absences spike. For anyone attending protests, know the local rules on blocking streets and noise levels, and keep your plans focused on staying safe and within the law. We'll keep tracking legal updates in Texas, any new enforcement patterns on the West Coast, and how local and federal roles play out in places like South Portland. If you want deeper details, timelines, or links to resources, you can always find them at visaverge.com. Thanks for listening. Take care of each other, and I'll talk to you soon.